I barely see any traveling on this channel. I think this guy only goes 40 times around the block. That's a pretty good one, Alfred. I got a pretty good chuckle out of that. Today is by no means a response to this comment, but rather, Alfred brings up an interesting point, and he's actually not wrong. There hasn't been a ton of traveling on my channel in the last year, but there's a very important reason for that. And today we're going to talk about balance, authenticity, and living in the moment. And you may be wondering, what does this comment that I just read have anything to do with those three things? And the answer is everything. See, Alfred is not entirely wrong. There hasn't been a ton of traveling on this channel in the last year, but there's some pretty important reasons for that. And that certainly doesn't mean that I haven't done a lot of traveling this year. In fact, this year has probably been one of the busiest years for me in terms of traveling. But there's a reason you guys haven't seen 100% of it. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. See, the thing is, the last year, I've been so busy building this channel and building a business around this channel so that I can afford to live on my motorcycle traveling full time. And those of you that have been watching for the last couple of months have heard me talk about this over and over again. Like, this is what's happening. I'm getting ready to leave in about 6 weeks. I'm hoping that these travel plans will last me about 5 years. And so I wanted to build a channel about what I was passionate about and about what I wanted to do, what this dream was, meaning motorcycle travel, motorcycle camping, and just adventure in general. Everything that comes along with running a channel on YouTube has had me pretty busy. And so a lot of the videos, I've been kind of taking the easy way out. And I'll go somewhere pretty close to home to film and just kind of show off, areas around my house that are local that I enjoy seeing. But the main goal has always been full-time travel, and that has always been where this channel was heading from day one. If you've seen my video called Why the Name 40 Times Around, that explains it pretty well. This channel was born because of my dream to travel around the world on a motorcycle. Even when I'm full-time traveling, you still won't see 100% of the adventures and the travel. And there's a pretty big reason for that. Now, the timing of this comment is actually pretty funny, especially since this comment wasn't on my most recent video, but it's connected. In that video, one of the mistakes that we talked about learning the hard way was
document your trips more, whether that be photographing.
See, this is where the balance comes into play. You definitely don't want to spend your entire trip looking down the lens of a camera from either direction, either in front of it or behind it. Sometimes I have to remember to be in the moment and not be so focused on the camera and filming and documenting, or it defeats the whole purpose of all the work I've put into this. Being able to travel full time isn't really going to be worth it if I'm only ever thinking about the camera and I'm only ever taking pictures and videos and all of that. Don't get me wrong, there's a balance. And part of that balance is actually a challenge for me, is remembering to take the camera out once in a while and get some pictures, get some videos, and talk about where I am. It almost makes me like a bad YouTube creator because I'm not using my social media as much as some other creators, and it's just a challenge for me to keep up on Instagram. I go out and I take a bunch of pictures and then I just never get around to posting them, or I just flat out just don't take any pictures, or I'm not posting as often as I'd like to on Facebook. So, and another aspect of that too is keeping up on my comments. I'm really struggling to respond to all the comments, and I value anybody that takes the time to write a comment on one of my videos or shoot me an email or send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. That means so much to me. I struggle finding the time to keep up on all of it, and that really bothers me. It kind of eats me up, to be honest with you. But it's just at a point where I just can't necessarily keep up with it. But I do read all of them, and they really do mean a lot to me. Every one of them, honestly, even ones like Alfred's comment, because there's some truth to it. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this video. Is, like I said, not really in a response to Alfred's comment, but rather to touch on an interesting point, and the point being the reason you haven't seen a ton of my traveling this year. See, and that is where the moral of the story lies. It's about me being authentic and me practicing what I preach. My whole channel, if you're paying attention, is about getting out and living your life, putting your phone away, putting the computer or the TV away, and go out in the world and ride your motorcycle, go on adventures, go camping, travel, do all of these things. And that's what I want you guys to do. And I've been leading by example the best way that I can, because it's an interesting line to walk as a YouTube creator that wants to travel and share these experiences with people and hopefully inspire people to get out and do similar things. It's tricky to be authentic and tell people, hey, go out and live adventures and do what I'm doing and all of that, but there's a different element to it, right? Like there's a hidden element. There's that third wall or the fourth wall, whatever it's called. Like you see me here in front of these rocks hanging out, but there's a camera in front of me that I'm talking to you through. So how much am I in the moment? How much do I realize that there's cool rocks behind me and a neat blue sky with some neat clouds and you know, there's some saguaros over there and it's the whole environment around me. But how much do I notice that when I'm staring at a camera? When I start traveling full time, there'll be a lot more travel videos because, well, I'll have the time to balance it a little better. I'll have the time to take a few days for myself to enjoy the adventure and put the phone and the camera away and not be living through a screen. And then I'll have days where I'll turn the camera on because something amazing is happening and I want to share it with you guys. And so that's where the balance comes into play. You know, I've talked in several videos about making sure you document your trips because you just don't want to forget it, and you'll appreciate that and you'll value that when the trip is over. I speak from experience. You know, there have been trips that were not well documented, and it's a shame because I wish I had pictures to look at from such and such trip. So yeah, I've done a lot of traveling this year and I haven't shared all of it. So I can see where Alfred is coming from, thinking that he doesn't see a lot of travel on this channel, which is ironic because I tend to be in a different place every time I film. But he's not wrong because a lot of it has been in Arizona. I've been a bit landlocked for the filming, like I said, because when I'm out and about on an adventure, it's usually, you know, my downtime is few and far between. So when I get a chance to go off on an adventure this past year, I haven't always really wanted to film that. Like I said, the next year is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to have a lot more time to take adventures for myself and also film some of my adventures to share with you guys and do some cool videos from some interesting places. Anyways, thank you, Alfred, for calling me out on that. It was actually a pretty clever comment. I hope you don't take it the wrong way that I made this video. And like I said, it wasn't entirely in response to that comment. It just made me think about why would someone think I didn't do any traveling this year? And then I kind of realized, well, because I didn't document a lot of it. And that got me thinking, well, why didn't I document it? I'm a YouTube creator. I'm supposed to be documenting this stuff. And then I realized, no, I'm not. My priorities are right. And I should be enjoying what I'm doing. And so should you. And that's kind of it. That's the moral of the story. I love this stuff. I love sharing these adventures with you guys and seeing the response that it gets. And I'm glad that we live in a world where I'm able to share these experiences with people. Anyways, at the end of the videos, I've been telling you guys where I'm at. I'm currently in Papago Park. It's in Tempe, Arizona. I found this really cool spot. You know, there's a lot of neat rocks around here. I found a place where there was a little bit of water and it was really pretty with some palm trees. They had these little structures that you could barbecue in, and one of them I found actually had 2 fireplaces in it, which was so cool. Definitely would want to come back here and have a little barbecue and a little fire going. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.